Okay, so next problem. This is model, Modigliani-Miller approach. Let me read the problem and I'll try to explain the concept. M Limited belongs to risk class for which capitalization rate is 10%. It has 25,000 outstanding shares and the current market price is rupees 100. It expects a net profit of rupees 2,50,000 for the year and board is considering dividend of 5 per share. M Limited requires to raise 5 lakh for an approved investment expenditure. Show how does approach affect the value of M Limited if dividends are paid or not paid. Okay, so remember what does model tells you in capital structure theories we discussed. So there we're discussing whether debt was good or bad. So this theory came and told it does not affect the value of the firm. Same thing here also this theory tells. That is, we are discussing whether company should pay dividend or not. This theory comes and tells it does not matter. So it's also called as dividend irrelevance theory. Dividend irrelevance theory. It is relevant for our examination. This theory is like this. One person was sitting aramse in some place. You go and ask him, why are you wasting your time? He asked, what should I do? You say, do CA. Then he says, by doing CA, what will I get? You say, by doing CA, you can do articleship. By doing articleship, what you can do? You can write CA exam. After writing CA exam, what you can do? You can get good job. After getting good job, what you can do? You can good salary. After good salary, you can have good life. You can have good wife, good life. You can have good children. You can enjoy life. And the person says, I'm enjoying the life now itself. Why should I do all these things? Don't interpret this in a wrong way. Don't quit your examination. You have to write the exam. You already joined CA. You should not quit. I just told you for reference. So this model is trying to tell whether company pay dividend or company don't pay dividend, it's going to be same. Value of the firm is going to be same. And he proves it using numbers, which we are going to do for this problem. His theoretical concept is this. If company pay dividend, they will fall short of the money for their projects. They pay the dividend, so their resource will reduce. For reduction of the resource, they issue the shares and they raise the money. So on one hand, money goes out. On the other hand, money comes in. If you don't pay dividend, that means you have resource with you. You don't have to issue so many number of shares. So money don't go out, money don't come in. So ultimately, even if you pay dividend, ultimately money will come back because you have to issue shares to finance your projects. So value of the firm remains same theoretically. Mathematically, we'll prove it now. Sir, why should I go for issue of shares only? For my sourcing my projects, why can't I go for debt loan? And Modigliani Miller tell you please come to capital structure theories. I've already proved there whether you take debt or equity does not matter. Why are you asking the same question? Anyway, keeping it aside, what is this theory tells you whether you pay dividend or you don't pay dividend, value of the firm will remain same. How it remains same? We'll prove in this problem. In that process, he makes two particular assumptions regarding the value. I will explain as and when I write it. Okay, so let us write in a columnar format. Model. If dividend paid, if dividend not paid. So let's calculate the values under two scenarios. And this theory proves that under both the scenarios, value of the firm will remain same. Anyway, uh, any doubts up to this stage? Okay. If dividend is paid, what is their earnings for the year? Earnings for the year. It is expected they are going to make a net profit of 2,50,000. That will be same under both scenarios. 2,50,000 minus dividend paid. Okay, how much dividend paid? Company expects to pay dividend of 5 per share. How many shares are there? 25,000. So how much you get? 5 rupee into 25,000. So you get 1,25,000. Can you tell me in the second case how much dividend you write? How much will you write dividend in the second case? Zero, right? No dividends. Zero, correct. No dividend. Nil, zero. So balance we call it as retained earnings. Retained earnings. 1,25,000, 2,50,000. Okay. Now this is the amount available for future investment. But what is the investment required? Investment required. You are trying to have a project investment expenditure. How much you need? 5 lakh. Investment expenditure 5 lakh. Here also 5 lakh. Okay. So what is the shortfall? 5 lakh you need, but you have only 1,25,000. Shortfall is 3,75,000. And in the second case, 5 lakh is the investment required, but what you have with you? 2,50,000. What is the shortfall? 2,50,000. Now, how are you going to fulfill this shortfall? Where do you get the money? Approach is telling this is going to be raised by issue of shares. Raised by issue of shares. Raised by issue of shares. Sir, can I raise this by debenture also? Can I raise this by loan also? You can. But in the capital structure approach, I already proved that whether you take debt or equity does not matter. Anyway, that is not the point. This theory says I'm going to issue shares for the shortfall. Now, one point. Can you please tell me when I am issuing these shares? Am I issuing these shares today or am I issuing these shares after 1 year? Mean when I'm making the investments, is the investments are made today or investments are made at the end of the year? This is at the end of the year. How? Earnings I get end of the year. Dividend I pay end of the year. Balance I have. And I need to make investment at the end of the year. So this is the investment required for the end of the year meanings for subsequent year. So share issue also going to happen at the end of the year. So to compute the number of shares, should I use P0 or should I use P1? P0 means share price today. P1 means share price after year 1. So when I am issuing after year 1. So which price is relevant? P1, share price after year 1. But we will not know share price after year 1 today itself. So we need to make one projection. We need to make one estimation, estimated market price. So for that, he uses one assumption. Modigliani-Miller uses one assumption regarding P0. So P0 is given by P1 plus D1 divided by 1 plus KE. P1 means price after year 1. D1 means dividend after year 1. Discount. These are the two cash flows takes place after year 1. Discount it to today value divided by 1 plus KE. Based on this is nothing but your component interest formula. Present value is future value divided by 1 plus KE. P0 present value. P1 plus D1 both happens after year 1 future value divided by 1 plus KE because 1 plus R to the power of n. N is only 1 year. So divide by 1 plus R. So P1 plus D1 divided 1 plus KE using the simple concept of compound interest. So P0 we know today market price. Today market price, current market price, today market price P0 100. So 100 equals P1. So P1 we don't know, that's what we want to calculate. D1 dividend expected 5 per share divided by 1 plus KE, 1 plus cost of equity. Cost of equity, capitalization rate, cost of equity 10%. So 0.10. So cross multiply 100 into 1.1 equals P1 plus 5. So 5 comes to left side. So 110 minus 5 equal to P1 or P1 equals 110. Sorry, 1105. Similarly here, 100 market price today, P1, which is what we have to calculate, plus 5. Here we don't pay any dividend, so I'll say 0. Divide by 1 plus 0.1. So cross multiply 100 into 1.1 equals P1 plus 0. I don't have to write. So P1 is 100 into 1.1, which is 110. Okay. Now, can you tell me what is the difference between these two numbers? That is 5 rupees. What do you think that 5 rupees difference represents, implies? Nothing but dividend per share. If you don't pay dividend, the value of share is 110. If you pay dividend, the 5 rupee dividend, it becomes 105. X dividend, I told you. That's what it means. Okay. This is one way of calculation. There is one more way, logical way. There is one more way, logical way. I mean, not a formula way. What is logical way? Simple. Try to understand. What is market price? 100 rupees today. How much shareholders are expecting? Capitalization rate 10%. On 100 rupees, if I expect a 10% return, so how much shareholder should get? On 100 rupees, 10% means 10 rupee. So what will be the value at the end of the year? 100 plus 10, 110. That is what this 110. And if you pay dividend, share price should reduce X dividend price. Yes, 5 rupee reduced, it becomes 105. Anyway, that's only for conceptual purpose. You have to write down like this in exams. Okay. Next thing is to compute number of shares issued. Okay. How do you calculate the number of shares issued? Very simple. How much amount required divided by price per share. How much amount required? 3,75,000. What is the price per share? 105. So 3,75,000 divided by 105. And in the second case, 2,50,000 divided by what is the market price? 110. Amount required divided by the price per share gives you number of shares. So 3,75,000 divided by 105. 3571.43. I know you can't have decimals, but I'm doing decimals so that ultimately I want to verify the answer. That's the reason. 3571.43. And 2,50,000 divided by 110, 2272.72. So 2272.73. Are you done till here? So as you can see, when dividend is not paid, you're issuing more number of when dividend is paid, you're issuing more number of shares. If you don't pay dividend, you have money with you, so you issue less number of shares. You pay dividend, you need more number of shares. You pay no dividend, you need less number of shares. So balance is maintained. That's what he is telling. Anyway, you have not completed yet. We have to compute the value of the firm. But before that, you please make sure you have done till here and let me know if you have any doubts. Shall we go for valuation part? Are you clear? Yes? Okay. Okay. So regarding valuation, I'll show you two calculation. One calculation sufficient for exam, but I'll show you one more calculation. So if dividend not paid, I'm repeating so that because I'm coming to new slide, you don't have to repeat. If dividend paid, if a dividend not paid. Okay, valuation. So first I'll compute value. at end of year 1, then I'll compute value today, value at beginning. Okay, so value at end of year 1, simple formula. This is existing shares plus new shares, because existing shares plus new shares issued multiplied by market price at end of year 1, because after issuing shares you will have more number of shares. So existing, you had how many shares? 25,000 shares. You had 25,000 shares plus new shares issued 3571.43. 3571.43 multiplied by P1, market price at the end of the year, which is 105. Number of shares into market price per share, that is the value. 25,000 shares plus 3571.43 shares multiplied by 105. Approximately you get 30 lakhs. And if dividend is not paid, existing 25,000 shares plus new shares is different here, 2272.73 multiplied by market price 110. So 25,000 plus 2272.73 into 110. Approximately same number you get, 30 lakh. So you can see value of the firm remains same whether company pay dividend or they don't pay dividend. So you can say that the theory is proved. This is as per, I mean, from an exam point of view, this is sufficient. I'm going one step further. Uh, what would be the value today? What is the values today? V0 value today. That also I'll calculate just for our verification purpose. But please confirm you have done till here. Okay, hope you got it. Very good. Now, value at the beginning, he gives one more formula. Value at the beginning, V0, you can say, is equal to existing shares plus new shares into P1. This is what we had, same thing now. Value at the end of the year. Then one more calculation we do. We do uh, plus income minus investment. What is this? Plus income minus investment. So this basically means uh, I want to know the value at the beginning of the year. See, what I've calculated now is value at the end of the year. This includes the value of the shares issued. But at the beginning of the year, that value of the shares issued will not be there. I have to go backwards. See, for example, in this case, how much is my income? 2,50,000. What is my investment required? Which is a 5 lakh. Correct? So, 2,50,000 is the shortage. It's like additional capital. You know, in your single entry system and all, you would have done additional capital. Additional capital, you subtract from the closing capital, correct? If you want opening a capital, from the closing capital, you subtract the additional capital, then only you get the opening capital. That's what I'm doing now. From the closing balance, which is a value at the end of the year one, I'm subtracting additional capital. How much additional capital? Plus income minus investment means additional capital only. Now this value, you get that at the end of the year, you bring it to today value, you discount it by today value, that means divide by 1 plus KE. You get the value today. Let us calculate. Existing shares 25,000 plus new shares 3571.43 into 105 plus income. Income is 2,50,000 minus investment minus the 5 lakh divided by 1 plus KE. 1 plus cost of equity 0.10. Let me calculate this, then I'll write the next column. So, uh, so 25,000 plus 3571.43 into 105. We got 30 lakh already actually. Plus 2 lakh 50,000 minus 5 lakh divided by 1.1. You get 25 lakh. Won't be 3,75,000 for the dividend paid. No, we don't take that dividend paid. That will automatically get adjusted. So when you consider the new number of shares and all, the dividend paid amount will get adjusted. I'm only talking towards what is the additional capital in the closing value. Dividend element and all. See, when I take P1, P1 is 105, which is after subtracting dividend. So the dividend payment part is already considered in the P1 in 105 market rupees. Again, if I subtract, it will be duplication. So I don't subtract dividend and all. So same formula for both the cases. So plus income minus investment. So here also it will be same. I'll write here maybe in different color or the same color. Why confusion? So 25,000 plus 2272.73 25,000 plus 2272.73 multiplied by 110 plus 2,50,000 minus 5 lakh. Same amount actually. Divided by 1 plus KE divided by 1 plus 0.10. So 25,000 plus 2272.73 into 110 plus 2,50,000 minus 5 lakh divided by 1.1, you get same answer 25 lakh. So value of the firm at the end of the year also equal, value of the firm today also equal. Hence, his theory, dividend has no impact on value of the firm. Whether you pay dividend or you don't pay dividend, value of the firm remains same, and that is dividend irrelevance theory. Dividend has no impact on value of the firm. Okay, one more magical point I'll tell you just for verification purpose. What is the value today? Number of shares into price per share, correct? What is the number of shares today? Number of shares today you have 25,000. What is the price per share today? 100. So 25,000 into 100. That is 25 lakh. Number of shares 25,000. Today price P0 100. 25,000 into 100. 25 lakh. Anyway, so this is M&M approach, Modigliani and Miller approach. It can be asked in examination. Okay. Hope everybody is clear. This is with respect to dividend theories. Hope you're done. Okay, fine. Let's go further.